Hey, it's the boys from Soft Spoken, and we are so glad that you are listening to our new friend Marv and his podcast, Pods Like Us.
Yeah, we were recently on the show for a couple of episodes, and we really enjoyed it. And if you'd like to catch a little bit more of us with all the raunchiness and sauce-based humor that you're used to, feel free to check us out on our show. But in the meantime, keep enjoying Pods Like Us with Marv.
We enjoyed talking with Marv as much as we hope you enjoy listening to him.
Now back to the show.
Hello and welcome to Pods Like Us. I'm Martin, well known to my friends as Marv, and this time I am joined by Chen from When They Was Fab. Hey Ed, how are you?
Hello.
And we are also joined by the guy who seems to make more podcasts than anybody knows, I'm sure, Mr. Tom Hunyady from Two Legs, Talk More Talk. And any more shows there, Tom?
Not at the moment. It's too much, not enough time in the day. But how you doing, Martin, Ed, and Ethan? Good to see you guys.
Hiya. And also speaking with Ethan Alexanian from the podcast Fans on the Run. And what's the other show again, Ethan?
I don't remember at this point. I don't even remember what my own show's called.
Isn't that it?
Yeah,
that's the
one. Nothing but the Beatles, or anything but the Beatles. Is it? Nothing but the Beatles, or anything but the Beatles.
It's a memorable title, isn't it?
Sorry. Oh, dear. You can tell I've done my homework.
We've got jokes.
Well, trying. So, how is everybody?
Not bad.
Fall is finally coming.
Yes.
Decent weather outside.
Yep, it's coming up.
Contrary to rumor, I'm still alive.
Yay!
Yes, Ethan's still with us.
Yeah.
I heard you were in a moped accident.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard he fell out of a tree fort.
How did you know about that?
Wait,
was that you? Was that you with the fucking telescope?
Yeah. Yeah, remember it hit you in the head and you fell out?
Yeah, that's why I fell out of the tree fort.
I do know that Ethan and Tom got some great records together at that record day.
Oh, let me tell you, that visit, man, Ethan definitely took advantage of the record stores in Arizona.
I ran circles around both of you.
You did. You showed us how it was done for sure, buddy.
Yeah.
The best
Some
of
Canadian stimulus in the American economy.
Every economy needs stimulating nowadays. Ed's done well for that by getting the enormous crate, the George Harrison crate.
Yep. And I've now pre-ordered both the vinyl and the CD copies of the Let It Be box.
Absolutely.
Yep. I got the box. I'll be happy with that. I won't be getting the vinyl though, but I did get the book as well.
So why doesn't the Let It Be
they're
box
saying
come
the book
with
is shipped?
Really? Yeah, mine hasn't said shipped yet. I got it from Amazon, so I'll be shipped on release day.
I got an email from someone saying that mine hasn't shipped, but saying that they are starting to ship them.
Right. All right.
Do we
look forward to that?
Do we think there will be a separate soundtrack for the Peter Jackson?
I'm hoping so.
80% yes.
Yeah, I mean, without any, with only one track from the rooftop on this new Get Back or the Let It Be box, I should say.
One additional track. It's not just one track from the rooftop.
Well, okay, one additional.
Yeah,
and hopefully we get the whole thing on audio CD.
I still keep hearing this that there's going to be a record store day thing of the rooftop, but no confirmation on that.
Right. I mean, record store day for Black Friday has been announced, and nothing from the Beatles is on that list. Now, other acts have announced late products for record store day, but with the way the vinyl pressings are these days, where it's a 6 month wait to get your vinyl press these days. I mean, I don't see how they're going to get something out in time unless they did, put an order in earlier this year for that.
It's like a 6 month wait, unless you're
unless
like
you're
the Beatles.
Yeah.
In which case you can, hijack whatever pressing plant you want.
Yeah, it's like the old days when John would record a song and then about a week later it'd be shipped out. Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm sure Third Man would be happy to do anything Paul asked them to do.
Yes. I wonder if the vinyl version of Let It Be box is going to have the. Is that coming as an EP as a 7-inch then? Those 4 songs that are on that CD.
No, it's a 12-inch.
It's a 12-inch. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I just wondered because I know back in the day they've done in the 60s you could get 33 and a third RPM 7 inches as EPs, which is different.
Right.
Probably be smarter.
I think it'd be a good idea to have something like that. It'd definitely be a promotional thing that's not been done for a long time.
Well, remember, we're still going to get an EP box sometime down the line.
That is true.
I firmly believe that.
Yep. And they might have that in there as an extra EP.
Yeah.
Fair.
Put out a Beatles EP box of all the different Beatles EP boxes.
Of course, we know when it's all done, they're going to start it all over again about 5-6 years later.
Well, I'm sure they've got stuff that I'm sure they've got their whole, agenda, what they're going to release, throughout the next, 5, maybe 10 years. I mean, I'm sure they've got this all, planned. You have to get this stuff planned in the state. I mean, this stuff does take time, these box sets, and the mastering takes time. So, hopefully they've got a plan and what they want to release over the next 5-10 years.
Yeah. Do you think they're all talking with each other and actually working around each other for these different box sets for the solos and the Beatles together sets?
Well, maybe just dates, if anything, if they're talking. I mean, obviously you don't want to put the same, 2 big box sets out in the same month. I mean, obviously they didn't care 2 years ago when they put out what we had December, November, October, September, all the stuff. What was that in 18 with Egypt Station and the 2 archive sets? And what else did we get then? We got the White Album.
Was that the Wildlife and Red Rose Speedway?
Yeah, Speedway, and then we got Wildlife. Yeah. And then the White Album. Yeah. Yep, all in a 4-month span.
Yeah.
But COVID seems to have screwed up that any scheduling they might have had anyway.
Absolutely.
I mean, Plastic Ono and all things would have been last year.
Right.
But I think Danny Harrison said that there were certain things that he was able to find during COVID that they didn't have beforehand that actually meant they were able to put more material on there than they originally were going to.
That's what he said.
Yeah, all things must pass. Which I wish they'd have done that really with RAM when they did that, because I know when that came out, there were all these stories where they said, we suddenly found all these recordings that we never knew about. And then everybody was expecting RAM to be this enormous set that was bigger than it ended up being.
Well, they're probably going to put out a 50th anniversary set of Ram in 5 years.
Absolutely. Yeah. 5
Yeah,
years.
I think he's going to redo it with some of the early archive sets again.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, everything other than the Wings Over America was kind of thin as opposed to what we consider a super deluxe edition today.
Yeah. Plus they're out of print. So it would be cool if they went back and they did put out those Concord out of print versions, and then, maybe add something else to it just to piss us all off, since we, make us buy them again,
Well, is it gone back to EMI then from Concord?
Yes.
Yeah. So that means that EMI might actually have more material that they could have used as opposed to what there was before, perhaps.
It's possible.
Unlikely, though. I mean, McCartney actually owns all of it, so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all been MPL, and he's just licensed it to like Capitol and then Columbia and then back to Capitol, then to Starbucks.
Yeah. Yes. I just meant because everything up to Band on the Run still had the Apple logo, so I thought that might not be a different deal. I don't know.
He negotiated that with Sir Lou.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, because of the McCartney special that he did and everything. Yep, absolutely. Yep, gotta sing, gotta dance. Oh dear, got that image in my head now, Paul. Thanks. So what do we?
They didn't put in the "Find My Way" promo.
Yes. Thanks.
Every other clip of McCartney dancing, just not that one.
Yeah. Well, we can thank them for that, I think. Although it's a good outfit, I won't deny that. So, what do we think of each of the box sets then? Comparison, do you think the Lennon ones with the different variations of the songs? Do you think that's more interesting in some ways than the what Paul's been doing with his catalogue and what George has done with his catalogue?
I do. If anybody should have a vocal isolation track, it should be Paul, I think. But especially maybe on something like Maybe I'm Amazed or Monkberry Moon Delight or something like that. But yeah, I mean the Lennon Camp, Ono and Sean, I think they're doing a great job, and Paul and Hicks are doing a wonderful job, deconstructing these songs and putting out, especially like a song like, I Don't Want to Be a Soldier, with all these different, versions of that song, and made me appreciate that song even more. But yeah, I mean the McCartney Camp, I think, is kind of fallen behind a little bit in that sense, where you're getting more versions. I mean, maybe McCartney's songs are more realized by the time he gets them to the studio, but there's got to be something more out there from the Paul Camp, because I think Lennon, they're really doing a great job.
Well, I will disagree with you. I think Sean overdid it a little bit with the plastic Ono box. Do we really need 8 copies of My Mommy's Dead?
Well, yeah, but then
I think I could have done with 1 fewer discs in plastic Ono. Not that I don't want that material released, just not necessarily in the box set. Throw it somewhere else.
Right, but they are been more reasonably priced than the Paul box sets, though, too.
Absolutely. Well, John's stuff is totally. It's more reasonably priced than both Portals and George's.
Well, George's has been notoriously high. His catalog, his reissue campaigns. I mean, even the record player that was released a few years back with the big vinyl box set was really overpriced as well. But people are buying them, so that's.
Well, we won't go into that as it says. Pretty, the regular All Things edition was pretty chintzy. Shoving the 5 CDs in a Blu-ray in a little box. Otherwise, I actually think the All Things box was pretty close to perfect. It could have used 1 extra disc, but that's about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really happy with my crate with the Harrison for the All Things Must Pass set. Love the gnomes, but I love the effort that was put into it. I thought it was a unique piece, and curious to see if they continue doing something like this with future projects.
Well, there's not going to be a $1,000 33 and a third box.
Oh, well, no, absolutely not. But it'll be interesting to see, now they know what they can get away with and what people are willing to spend. There's always somebody out there that can create something unique for that particular, box set. Maybe we'll get a big hand for the, living in a material world, set. So we'll just see. I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
And Ringo still needs to put together a box.
Yeah. Yes, he does.
Especially for the Ringo album.
Well, there's that, and I mean, there's just the fact that his '80s stuff is to a great deal not available anymore.
Yeah,
out of print. Yeah,
it irritates me that you can't get "Time Takes Time," which is one of his best albums.
I think you can still find that one. Maybe like record stores or whatever, maybe used record stores from time to time, and I can probably find you one and send you one if you want me to. But
the old wave is
old wave is out. Yeah, that's on eBay. Yeah, I mean, people trying to get crazy amounts of money for those out of print CDs. Yeah, it's just a shame.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, "Time Takes Time." That's one of his greats, and Ringo. That's the classic album of his. That there must be something more there for that, and even something as that's not quite so popular like Rotogravure. I mean, the amount of people that are involved in that, there must be more material available for that somewhere as well.
Yeah, could be.
Like, not that any of us want it, but John running through cooking, for instance.
Well, and John's demo of Only You, so.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
But wasn't it on the anthology? The John Lennon anthology? I'd have to go back and check.
Might have been, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
his version of I'm the, I think his version of I'm the Greatest is on that anthology as well.
Yes, yeah.
Sorry for being so chatty. I'm the only one here who I think didn't buy either the Plastic Ono Band or All Things Must Pass sets in any form.
Okay. I got the lesser form, or not the lesser, but the one that Ed mentioned, the of All Things Must Pass, which was the one in a little box with the CDs and the Blu-ray, which I think it's really good material on there.
So, hey, this is Tim from Bad Counsel. You want some good counsel? Keep listening to the smooth, dulcet tones of Marv on Pods Like Us.
There was one thing I thought, though, with the George stuff, which was, does anyone remember years ago you could actually get hold of the stems for the individual tracks for All Things Must Pass?
When was that one in Rock Band? I don't remember. When did they release that?
Because I've got individual files somewhere on a hard drive for I think 3 or 4 of the songs on there, which means that if they're available, that might have been an interesting thing that Paul and Danny could have done, which would have been alternative by taking out some instruments and almost like an elements mix that they did with John then, you see.
Yeah, they might have had that for the 30th anniversary, or it might have been with the last vinyl from 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
we could take the deluxe electric arguments approach and just put the stems on a thumb drive and say, remix it yourself.
Yeah, but then again, that's something that irritates me about Paul. Is years ago, Paul on his website, he had this thing into where you could actually remix Paul's songs himself. Some of them, because he had them as 4 different. Was it? He had like a little pretend 4-track with something on each one or whatever. And
exactly.
Accordingly, and that was a really good thing that Paul had on his website that he got rid of, which I thought was great.
Well, he had a lot of big plans for that website, which never came to pass. He was going to put all the tapes up there and make them available on a subscription basis. And his deal with HP just sort of drifted away. So that never came to pass.
Right. He was trying to do something that Prince did then in the noughties, because Prince did similar, didn't he, on his website? But then again, Paul irritated me with the flowers in the dirt box with the go online go on the here to get those, when he could have just added those to one of the other CDs that were there that was a bit lacking in material, when he had space.
Plenty of room on the two bonus, on disc 2 and disc 3. There's plenty of rooms because he did the same tracks on both discs, just different versions of songs. There's plenty of room, and again, there was also potential for another disc that he could have done that with. I mean, there was what the big thing was it's only going to be with 3 and then a DVD or something like that. Well, then we ended up with Wildlife, with Red Rose Speedwagon, ended up being 4 CDs and a DVD. I mean, the formula keeps changing. So just stick with one, and I'm still waiting for them to send us, everybody that bought one, a disc of those songs and an apology saying sorry, we'll never do that again.
Yes, I thought Red Rose was a good set, actually.
Yeah,
I liked Red Rose a lot.
Yeah, it was one of the better ones, absolutely.
Well, but physical media is coming to an end. As much as we all don't want to see it happen, it's happening, and it will happen much sooner
eventually
than we think.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, flowers. I wanted I wanted also to have, but you can't. Well, you can get it if you go to YouTube, I suppose. I liked the re-record of Figure of 8 better than I did the album version.
Right.
Well,
single versions, the singles versions I think of Figure 8 are better than the one that's on the Flowers in the Dirt.
Don't get me started. Which version of Figure of 8? There's about 6 different versions, including 4 different videos.
Right.
You have to count the number of times he sings. Is it better? It's well, this is version 1. This is version 2, and that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
So it's like counting the rings on a tree to see how old it is.
Yes.
Well, that used to be how people figured out which version of Twist and Shout you got on BBC.
Yeah. Or which version of Pretty Little Head that you're listening to.
Very good.
Yeah. So, just as a tangent, what did you really enjoy the book then, Tom and Ed? The the press to play book.
Oh yeah,
I did. I still haven't gotten all the way through mine because I didn't get mine until Saturday, Sunday.
Really? Oh
yeah.
And I do want to give you another thanks there, Martin, for help for the assist, because for some reason I wasn't able to purchase it here while I was online. But thank you for the assist. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was a really good interview. Hugh didn't hold back his thoughts, and found it very interesting for sure.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think when they do the reissue of Press to Play, I don't think that they'll actually include much of what Hugh said in that book. I don't think, because they don't seem to be that negative, put that many negative comments in the Paul archive, do they, in the books that go with it?
Not necessarily, no. But there's a bunch of material that could put out. They can put out for this, and it can definitely be a good three CD, 1 DVD set. And you can go on YouTube now and listen to the strip down of what they did prior to Hugh's production. Eric Stewart, Jerry Marotta, and McCartney. I mean, there's some really good stuff on that bootleg that you can listen to on YouTube.
Yeah, and I think they'll probably end up going to town with that set as well. I think that'll be a big set.
Why not? You got all those remixes that you can put on there for sure. That could be 1 CD alone, with all the different remixes. You include Spies Like Us as well. Hopefully we get Yvonne the One finally in an official capacity. And, like I said, you put those stripped down versions on there and you'd be good to go. Hang Glide, which I don't think has gotten a CD release yet. So.
Well, and that's back to the question of how many more are we going to get in the collection?
Right.
That's true.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
It's London Town back to the egg, and then what?
Right. Do they continue with Press to Play and Broad Street? I would hope so. I mean, I would think all of these sets are deserving of a box set.
We would agree, but I don't know they have the requisite number of purchasers out there. 10,000. They got to sell 10,000 of these things.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if Wildlife was a bit of an experiment to see how that would go down.
Well, that's funny you say it, because I remember looking at the Hoffman forum when that set was first announced, and a lot of people were like, I can't believe I'm going to buy this crappy album,
Yep.
and then it comes out and it was reviewed very favorably or reevaluated very favorably. So I think that, and then plus you get the bonus of buying the two sets together to get that, the Wings Over Europe stuff. And, I think but then that's sold out, So absolutely, I think you can put one of his lesser albums out and it do well. Will it send 10,000 copies? I mean, I would hope so. I would hope there's at least 10,000 fans out there that would, purchase a Press to Play or Broad Street archive set.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you also had Bruce McMouse, and you had the double Red Rose Speedway, which was a pretty big deal.
It was a pretty big deal. Yeah. It was an added extra feature. Absolutely.
Yeah. And the double version of the vinyl for Red Rose Speedway is beautiful as well with that cover. That's nice.
Gorgeous.
That's lovely.
Yeah, no, that's one of the ones that I did buy. I don't buy all the McCartney reissue vinyl, but I did buy that one.
And that, like I said, that's a beautiful packaging on that.
I still need to pick that one up.
Yeah. Oh, you'd love that one, Ethan. It'll go in your collection nicely.
I mean, I've seen it.
Yeah.
So Tom, are you buying the Tiger Striped third man McCartney 3?
If I see it, yes, but I'm not going to try to go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over it.
You say this now.
I say this now. Correct. How my boy Mike over at my record store, the In Groove, he'll be announcing the brick and mortar. He'll be announcing when they get the copies, and once it gets on his website, if it's available, I'll get it. I'll make some calls maybe, but I'm just not going to go to store to store to store.
Well, 3333 is not that limited in terms of number of copies.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, that's as many white vinyls as they did, right?
3,000. Yeah, it was either 2,500 in that range.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 3,000. Yep.
Sorry, I realized I just said vinyl. God, it's been a while since I've talked.
Been a while. You're getting the rust off, buddy.
Yeah. I'm thawing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I still find myself going out and purchasing stuff that I hadn't gotten yet. Like recently, I just picked up the red McCartney vinyl. Some people still had it, and I was just like, screw it, I'll pick it up. And the red's very nice. I mean, it's about as nice as the McCartney 3 red vinyl was. So happy with it.
Is it a deep red or a light red?
Yeah, somewhere like a deep red. Yeah,
deep red.
Yeah. I can show it if you'd like me to.
Yeah. For people listening, he's going to show us it and you can't see it. Yeah, that's lovely. That. Yeah. How does it play? Have you tried playing it yet?
Not yet. Just got it yesterday. So
right as a bowl of cherries.
Bowls, cherries, baby.
Yes.
Yep. So
yeah, most of the colored vinyls are still of the non 3 or 3 Imagined are still out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
the only one I still see from that first run on a regular basis is Wings Over America. I see most of like the second wave, like the live.
Paul is live. Yeah, Paul is
Oh wait, no. Wait, no. Wings Over America was in that second set.
Yep, that's second set. Yes.
Okay, so never mind. I don't see anything from the first wave anymore.
Yeah, I'll still see the CDs for them from that first wave, and I'm surprised they haven't carried that on. Hopefully, they'll go back and continue to, why put out Chaos and Creation, and not, Memory Almost Full or Driving Rain,
I thought it was an absolute godsend when I read that they were reissuing Paul is Live, because that meant one more, out of print album from the 90s that I don't have to spend stupid money on.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Hear you.
G'day. This is Matty C from the Astros Fantasy Football Podcast, way down in Australia. And we love getting to listen to Marv meet new podcasters from all over the world here on the Pods Like Us podcast.
But like I was sort of hinting at, I mean, the release of Wildlife, I'm wondering if that was an experiment, and now they might think, well, because that was a lesser liked album by the most part.
You could say the same thing then with you could say the same thing then with Tug of War and Pipes of Peace. Pipes of Peace was a lesser, album here in the States. I mean, I think it did a little better in the UK. But then again, it did have the, say, so it did have a, number one hit, here on it. But then again, I mean, if you look at that set, that's a very chintzy set. I mean, the only really great thing about that, extra CD was the fact that he released a unknown track, It's Not On, which I don't think anybody knew of prior to its release.
No, it's interesting when he releases these things, and suddenly you'll find songs that hold on, none of us have ever heard of that song. It's a bit like how many have expected on All Things Must Pass for there to be what was it, Beautiful Girl? Yeah.
I mean, I'd known that song had been, started around that time, or it was demoed around that time, whatever you want to call it. But so I was really hoping that we would see that on there. Same with I Don't Want to Do It. That was really cool. That was out there as well.
Actually, it was the other one I was on about. The other one that ended up on the same album, the bluesy one. Because I never thought that was as early. It ended up on 33 1/3. Woman.
Oh, Woman, Don't You Cry For Me?
Yeah. I didn't know that was from back in those days.
Gotcha.
But that's an interesting one. I put down on the list. I thought of discussing or asking, what do you think of the, documentaries and films that come out about the Beatles? Do you think there's a problem in most of them because they're too close to the Beatles themselves and they might not be willing to go into certain areas?
Well, which ones are you talking about?
Well, anthology, for instance. I mean, that was definitely led by the Beatles themselves. So,
yeah, that's an in-house project. I mean, if you're talking about something like Paul Salzman's doc, which was okay, just okay.
There's the 50 years ago today Pepper documentary.
Well, that was a South Bank show.
Oh,
that was a TV thing.
I love that.
They turned into a special.
I thought that was really good, actually. I enjoyed that. I watched that when it first came out in the 80s.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Of course, we got the slightly different edit because, once again, that was the Disney Channel, and they didn't want people talking about illicit substances.
And so what was the Pepper documentary that came out like a few years ago? It was like 2017.
Yeah, I mean, it was 50 years ago today, wasn't it? Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, that
was a complete different thing.
Similarly titled.
Right.
Yeah.
The South Bank show was much earlier.
Yeah.
The 50 years ago today, that's the thing that's on streaming now.
Yeah.
Which also isn't very good.
Yeah.
It's a lot of just sort of, you got some nice interviews, but it's a lot of sort of archival footage we've seen a million times, and and random music made to sound like them.
Yes.
If they didn't have the rights.
Things. Yeah.
Right.
It seems to be that there's not a lot of middle ground when it comes to Beatle documentaries. It's either the Beatles have their fingers in all aspects of the pie, or they're not allowed to even use the music.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the one I think that I enjoyed, that came out a few years ago was the Strange Fruit one that dealing with the Apple artists. I thought that was a well done one, even though I don't think it was an official, officially licensed music or anything involved that. But you did get some.
There was Badfinger in there.
Yeah.
So I mean, you didn't have any of their songs, but you did have the Jackie Lomax stuff was in there as well, as I remember it.
Yeah. So that was a good one too. I just remember being really disappointed with 8 Days a Week documentary. I mean, it was fine, but I remember when it was first announced how they were talking about it's just going to be about, it's going to be about their live stuff, and then try to get some people. They were asking people to send in footage of as many performances as you could, and I just wanted curious if they didn't find anything, because I remember
they found stuff.
They did some, but they just didn't release it into the.
What are you talking about? They put like 3 seconds of Candlestick Park footage in there.
Yeah, that was great. 3 seconds, huh?
Yeah, don't be so ungrateful.
And you see all that stuff coming up on YouTube these days. Now people are actually, the fans are actually scanning it in at 4K and syncing it up with the audio we have, and it works.
Right, but it didn't end up as it was originally announced, or originally presented it to be.
No. I mean, Paul did that with the Wingspan, didn't he? He put out a call for people to send in any things that they had, and I think that's how he got hold of the material that Denny Sywell gave him, wasn't it? When Denny Sywell got some photographs to Paul, and through that same shout, and that they ended up on the Wingspan in all the Wingspan book and everything through the same method.
Oh, that was a little disappointing as well.
Yes. Yeah. Especially when you've got so many songs that actually weren't Wings.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, plus you still had Henry with us when, at the time. I mean, the fact that he didn't include any sound bites from any of the other, members was really disappointing.
Yeah, I didn't like the fact that I thought it was it misrepresented everybody, because the constant thread throughout that was Paul basically saying, "No, it was me and Linda's band, and it's the story of him and Linda." And I thought, well, it's not, because you've got Denny there, and you've got the Denny and Henry, and then you've got Jimmy and Joe and all these others there, and Jeff and Lawrence and Steve. It just put over the wrong impression, I think, of what Wings was.
Right.
Well, that's why Wings is never going to get in the Rock and Roll Hall.
Right.
Well, no.
Right.
Absolutely.
Plus, Linda didn't do any favors either from interviews in the 80s, where she just talked about how, those guys weren't up to snuff when it came to live performances, being, playing with Paul, and they just, weren't professional enough for Paul or whatever.
But then you actually get, recently live stuff being released, such as, the on the Red Rose set, for instance, and you think, well, where's she coming from there? Because those performances are amazing.
Well, they're kicking, yeah, but then Sywell had also said that there are a lot of times that Henry and Denny, they would be out of tune, while playing. So, that's not going to do the band any favors either.
That reminds me of the story of Lou Reed, where who is it that used to play guitar for David Bowie? He ended up producing for Lou
Carlos.
Reed, didn't
he? Mick Ronson.
Mick Ronson ended up producing for Lou Reed, didn't he? Yeah. And Mick was saying that he had to constantly keep tuning Lou Reed's guitar because he got fed up with Lou Reed playing the guitar untuned.
Cue the Jimi Hendrix story.
Yeah.
Zurich out there.
So anyway, we've got to be finishing soon because Ed's not got very long left to chat with us now. So what's everybody up to? Has anybody got anything interesting coming up in their shows, Ed?
Well, gee, you think we're going to be reviewing the Let It Be box and Get Back anytime soon?
I think that will probably take you at least 6 weeks to do when it comes out.
Oh, easily. Shout out to new co-host. Well, not so new anymore. We're now we're now about 25 shows in. Johnstone, he is probably the closest any of us are to being someone who lived the life of a professional musician.
Absolutely. And he's doing a bang on really good job as well as your co-host.
And you can still get episode number 0 with the one and only Ethan Alexanian, where we talked about deep faking while we didn't know that Paul was actually doing that in his own garage.
Yep.
Paul's sitting there typing out the code.
And that's a great transition to ask Ethan what he's up to.
Is it?
Well, he mentioned your name.
Well, that's true. But I don't really have a good response because I don't have anything going on at the moment.
You'll be doing a thumbnail soon.
Oh, yes, a single thumbnail.
You've still not called me to be on Fans on the Run.
I haven't called anyone to be on Fans on the Run in like a month or 2 months. Good things come to he what waits.
That's true. That's true. Wait till I move and we can do. I can even show you all things then because I'll have them all the records out and the CDs and everything where we moved to. But there you go. What about you, Tom? What have you got in line? Any top stars turning up for 2 legs?
Yeah, we've got some big announcements that we'll be making soon. We are going to be doing a another live series with Annie and I, our 101 favorite McCartney songs. So that'll be a 5-parter starting in first week of October. So we're looking forward to that. And we just did a show on that Press to Play at 35 special deluxe edition. We did a show about Back to the Egg with YouTuber Stephen Schnee. So we had a lot of fun doing that. And then, Talk More Talk, we just did our latest episode on the latest Ringo EP, Change the World. And we're definitely going to be doing a show on Another Listen with the Sometime in New York City album. So we got a bunch of stuff coming up as well.
That's great. And you've got lots of money to spend as well soon. Damn it.
I've actually got the picture disc of Spies Like Us coming in the mail today, so I'm looking forward to.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Is that the shaped? Is that the shaped?
Yeah, that's the shaped one. Yeah.
That is a beauty. That is nice.
Yeah.
I used to have that back in the day.
So one of my favorite '80s tracks from Paul.
Mine too. Hence the name of my podcast.
There you go.
Pods Like Us.
Oh, so that's. Okay, yeah, I get it now.
Ken Michaels got it straight away.
I think Ethan's being sarcastic.
Oh, yes.
Ethan sarcastic? Never.
No.
Hopefully he was being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Yes. Sarcasm at its best right there.
You can see it in my face, the sarcasm.
Yeah.
I can. I didn't know whether that was a blue meanie or something else.
Yeah.
It's the long lost purple meanie right there.
It is. That's true.
And
Looks
Tom's
like
met me in person, so he
Yes.
knows how mean I really am.
He's a really big meanie, especially if he hasn't slept.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot to mention that this is, like a year since I started doing these shows.
Oh, well,
So,
congratulations.
which is, wow, I know. Who would have thought it? Ethan's excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where I was going to from there.
Yeah.
So, to go back to the old Pods Like Us adage, has anybody got any advice for anybody then that wants to start in podcasting for the first time? Ed?
As I always say, don't. No.
Funny enough, I was gonna say the same thing.
Right.
If you want to do it, great. Just don't expect to have any more than a handful of listeners for a long time.
Yep.
Right.
Do it for yourself.
Yeah, do it for yourself. Do it for the love of whatever the topic is going to be, know what the topic is, research it, practice first, don't rush it, and have fun with it, and try not to be too obsessed with it, because you can get into a rut where all you're doing is just, checking the numbers every 5 minutes, of the day, so just have fun with it. Don't take it too seriously. And, like I said, there's so many Beatles and Beatles related podcasts out there right now. If you want to do one, great, but again, don't expect to have great numbers right off the bat.
I keep forgetting that I do a George Harrison podcast as well called P2 Podcast Blues.
Yes.
So Ethan, you got any advice for anybody?
To echo Ed's sentiment, don't.
We don't want the competition.
No, well, it's partially advice, and it's also kind of a threat.
There are only so many Patreon dollars to go around. We'll just be trading money with each other.
And now, to make life even harder for ourselves, has anyone got any other shows that people could check out podcast wise?
I unfortunately have not been listening to many at the moment.
I'm in talks with one of your favorites, actually, Tom, for the future. One of your favorite podcasts. The Three Coins. One of the cool things is that Kiss just announced a big 45th anniversary of their 1976 album Destroyer, which I'm looking forward to hearing their show about that and get their thoughts on it. And I know one of the guys on that show contributed a bunch of memorabilia so they can reproduce it to put in the box set. So looking forward to that. I pre-ordered my copy of the box set, so looking forward.
Was that Cicchini?
That was Cicchini, yes.
There you go. Ed was going to say something. Ed?
Well, there are tons of Beatles podcasts out there. Look for the ones not from the States, I would say. Eggpod is great. I Am the Eggpod. What else?
There's one from Canada that I've heard about.
Yeah, I don't know much about that.
No.
And it disappeared
kids, Canada's
too.
not real.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
I like Nick's podcast, Winter of Discontent.
Winter of Discontent.
That's very good.
And Jason's podcast, Producing the Beatles.
Our good friend Sam Wiles.
Yes. Yeah. Paul or Nothing.
Paul or Nothing. Sorry about that, Tom.
It is what it is.
My friends, the Blotto Beatles.
Yep.
Yes.
They have a good show.
Yep. And
I recorded an episode
without
with them.
getting drunk.
Yeah.
And there's a new one whose name I don't remember, hosted by two younger females, which I really like.
Where they're talking about the partners of the Beatles.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't remember what.
I just don't remember the name of the show.
No.
Well, there's the About the Girl, and then there's another one hosted by Natalia Cardenas. She Loves You.
She Loves You. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's actually two shows out there about the Beatle women.
Yep.
And BC the Beatles has returned. Yay! I think we're all happy about that.
Yep.
and then of course Kit. We always have Kit, since we're running down the females hosting Beatles podcast. And then there's Another Kind of Mind and their sister podcast, whose name
One Sweet Dream.
That might be the one that he's on about. Was it One Sweet Dream you were talking about, Ed?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. You've also got Things We Said Today as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Crikey.
And all our own shows.
One of the first Things We Said Today.
Yep. And then, of course, you got the wonderful Anthony Rotuno's Glass Onion.
Glass Onion. Yep. Well, he'll be a returning guest on Two Legs soon for part 3 of our look at the McCartney and Lennon relationship through the media.
Yep. I've got a almost 3-hour conversation with Anthony to edit down into an episode where we were talking about his show, Life and Loan Only.
Put it out.
I think that's what he's doing, actually. He's going to put it out as is and just go, yeah, put it out.
Put it out.
That's what he said.
You know who you're talking to, Tom. You're just horrifying me. If anyone says anything about Fab, it's the single most edited Beatles podcast out there.
It's slick. It's a slick
like to
show.
think so, but it does qualify as the single most edited show.
I'll say I love when it was Fab.
So
Martin, could you put that last comment in the left channel?
All right, folks. I'm out of here.
Right.
I have no more time to devote to this nonsense.
Unless you want to let people know where to get hold of you, Ed, and the show quickly.
We find our Facebook group, and we can be reached at When They Was Fab and When They Was Fab at Gmail.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ed.
Okay.
Take care. So, Tom, do you want to tell everybody how to get hold of you and all about Two Legs? And
thank you. Myself, I'm on Facebook, Tom Hunyady. You can look me up there, and on Instagram. Two Legs, we're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Two Legs Podcast. You can email us at twolegspodcast@gmail.com. And our Facebook page, like I said, our YouTube channel, Two Legs, a Paul McCartney podcast, has been growing a lot lately. So we're going to continue to grow that. So please check us out there. That's where you'll find the video portion of our show. And Talk More Talk, obviously that's the other page, YouTube page, Talk More Talk, and we're on Facebook as well. And you can email us at talkmoresolotalk@gmail.com as well. So all shows are everywhere on the audio platforms: Podbean, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, you name it, we're there.
Yep. What about yourself, Ethan?
Well, if you want to get a hold of me, you can find me on Facebook at Tom Hunyady, and he'll just pass the information on to me, whatever it may be.
Will I?
Yeah. Well, Is
that my punishment for pushing you into the pool?
Yeah. Andy never did buy me that Yardbirds record, so
I think you excused them from that, if I remember correctly.
I did.
Yes.
Oh, put the bat down.
He's got a baseball bat in his hand. Watch out.
Anyways.
But yeah, you can find me. You can find me on platforms. I'm not hard to find. Fans on the Run. Blah 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 blah.
So before we go, Tom, do you like that idea of mine that if I do get the guys from the Kiss podcast, would you like to be on there as a co?
I would be more than happy to.
Okay.
There's the other one too that I really like, Kiss FAQ.
Yes.
That's check them out too. Some of those guys might be more willing than the Three Sides guys.
Yeah. What about yourself, Ethan? What other podcasts do you listen to?
I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure what a podcast is. And at this point, I'm too afraid to ask.
You've made you've made so many episodes. You must know what a podcast is.
Not a clue.
No. You're winging it.
You can tell if you listen to my podcast.
You're winging every episode. Just like the rest of us are.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anyway, you can find Pods Like Us, obviously, on any network because that's how you're listening to us. And you can also contact us at podslikeus@gmail.com. And you can go to themarvzone.org and go on there to find any information you want to about the show or anything affiliated to it. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and hope you listen again to another episode of Pods Like Us. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Can't see it, but I'm waving.
Bye-bye.
That's staying in.
Yeah, that's fine. Uh,
Afternoon/evening, Ed?
Early afternoon.
Yes, for you. Yes, early afternoon for you. And for Ethan?
I mean, it's only a slightly later afternoon for me.
And it's still morning for Tom if he ever shows up.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Is there a Beatles podcast based in Australia? I could get them involved. It'd be tomorrow then.
I mean, there's always Plastic EP.
The Egg Pod guys are out that way.
Yeah. Tom's just joining. Might be a bit late to ask somebody from the Egg Pod to join in.
Might be.
Might be. Who knows? Perhaps I should get them to join in. Where's the video? Hello, Tom. How are you?
He doesn't have his headphones on.
No, he doesn't. No, he can't hear us. Oh,
There's two of them.
there's two Tom Hunyadys.
Which one's the real one? Gonna have to shoot one of them.
Yep. Which one's got the goatee beard and from the mirror universe?
One minute, fellas.
Okay.
In this case, parallel universe Tom wouldn't have a beard.
Yes. We're just saying there were two Toms for a moment there, Tom. And we're wondering which
Yes,
one.
I know.
Which one was the mirror universe, Tom?
One was phone and one was laptop.
All this and more.
Yes.
Brilliant. Twice the
Okay.
Tom. Does that mean if that happened by accident with you and Andy, that would be three legs?
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
Cheat jokes.
Were you guys having problems last night on Talk More Talk? I just kept losing your audio.
Yeah, I think I noticed Ken was having some connection issues, but that's on my end. That's the only issue I saw.
Okay, I mean, multiple internet connections, and then I
Right.
tried moving over to the phone, and
Yeah.
it always,
Right.
5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then the
Yeah.
audio would start.
I know I've been trying to convince Kit to go to YouTube with this live stuff, and might take a little more time on that. And who knows if we'll have the same issues there, you know.
Yeah.
So you've not recorded for a while then, Ethan?
No, I've been in a self-imposed exile.
Hmm.
Yes.
I mean,
What? No, it sounds like
we
there's
have
something.
to.
Come on.
We have
man.
to. Do we have to cut it off? Do the famous Reservoir Dogs scene?
We might have to.
Ooh. Ear.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I finished watching Goodfellas.
Oh, great.
Oh, right. What did you think, Ethan?
I wasn't expecting Atlantis by Donovan to be used in the context it was used.
Yeah.
But it's probably the best context. for the song.
Yeah.
I've never known it used anywhere else, that song.
Were you surprised by hearing the song in that movie?
I mean, there was more to the movie than Atlantis.
Well, I know that, but were you like
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, he's using a Donovan song? That's cool.
Yeah. Well, I was watching, Joe Pesci kick the
Right.
shit out of what's his name? He was in The Sopranos.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Ray
Yeah,
Liotta.
Martin, why don't you get started?
Yep. Okay.
Thank you, Martin. That was
That's okay. Bit seat of the pants.
mhm.
I mean, I miss you, Tom.
Well, I miss you too, buddy. But
All the Beatles miss you.
you're good one, buddy. Good one. Atlantis. Yeah, Atlantis isn't on it. So
Atlantis. Is,
yeah, I was just gonna say that would have been
Yeah.
perfect. Oh yes, Atlantis on
Yes.
Scorsese's wonderful Goodfellas.
Yes. Ah, yes.
Yes.
Baraba Jago.
Perhaps the three of us should do a monthly podcast about gangster films.
Oh,
I would do a monthly podcast
Mafia
about
films.
Donovan, but only if I can do it in my Donovan impression from that one YouTube video where he's talking about his albums.
albums. Yes.
Ah, yes. Baraba Jago.
Yes.
Heard a Goody Man single. Featured Led Zeppelin on it before
Yes.
they were Led Zeppelin.
Yes. Have you seen this one yet, Martin?
Have you seen this?
I
Have you seen
have
this?
many years ago. That's a really good
Yes.
film. That is
Yes, Mona Lisa's excellent. Bob
handmade,
is-
handmade
yeah.
films
Handmade films, very good. Very good, you.
produced by George.
Yes. Let's see here. I've gotten a bunch of stuff. So
A future episode of my show.
yes. I watched this recently, Mr. Mom. I don't know if you know this one at all.
I do
Michael
know that
Keaton.
one.
Yeah,
Have
great
you got,
stuff.
Have you got Multiplicity as well?
Didn't like that.
No.
No.
But we
After
all
the
wi-
Thin Man. I'm a big fan
Wow.
of William Powell and Myrna Loy. This is the second in the series, in the Thin Man series.
you can't go wrong with James Stewart.
No. Oh yeah, and Jeff Stewart is in this one. Yeah, The
Yep.
Color of Money. Speaking of Martin Scorsese,
Brilliant. What do you think of the Hustler? That was a
Hustler's
sequel of.
excellent. Hustler, I love Hustler. I'm a big Paul Newman fan. Big
Yep.
Paul Newman fan. Dead Zone.
Brilliant.
Not one of the better. I think it's good. I mean, Christopher Walken's good in it. But I don't think it's one of the better adaptations out there. But,
There's a Dead Zone story between me and Louise, actually.
really.
We were on a course at the same time together, and she was reading The Dead Zone as a book,
Right.
and I'd already read Christine as a book,
Okay.
which I think is a great book. I like that book a lot.
It's good. It's a good one.
And so I was walking past, noticed Louise was reading that, and it got us both to talking.
Right. And that was
So-
that was kind of the link to the
That was
start
what
of the
that's what
that was the
started it
fire.
all off. That was the
That was
fire.
the spark.
Yep,
That was the
the
spark.
Dead Zone. Yep.
Yes, excellent. Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League. So
What's
this
that,
is
what's
about,
that like?
I haven't watched it yet. Just picked it up. So
Oh, is that the one where
it's the
it's-
5-hour version? Yeah,
the 5-hour one and it's not widescreen and it's black and white?
I will have to tell you when I see it.
Isn't it like a narrow screen instead?
Yeah.
It's a really
pan and scan?
strange.
Pan and scan.
Yeah.
No, it's I thought
I think
I
think
thought I
it's
had
narrow.
heard something, but how the
So it's-
movie was shot for
I think
For
it's
like
high.
IMAX
And
or
I think it's
something.
high and narrow.
Okay.
I think it's
Yeah.
a very strange.
so like
Gotcha.
the normal
Yeah.
theatrical one would be the pan and scan.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And speaking of Stephen King, then there's it chapter 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you like the 1 and 2? Did you see this version at all?
I've only seen the version with Tim Curry.
Oh, you got to erase that from your
I'm
memory.
sorry. I know I do. I know I do.
Is that the one where he's like, I see you shiver with anticipation?
No, I think it's the one. I think it's the one where he has to stop the bomb before it blows up in that circus, isn't it? And he's got that plane where the wings come out.
Mm.
James Bond connection there.
Okay.
That was
Place in-
Octopussy. Sorry.
Yeah. Place in the Sun, big Montgomery Clift fan.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yep.
Place in the Sun. One of my I've probably watched this like 20 times when in 1984. But I haven't seen it since then. But Strange Brew with
Ooh.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Take off, eh?
hey, you hoser.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I am really looking forward to seeing Rick Moranis in the Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Is he coming back to do something then? He's
I
out
think
of retirement.
I think he's got a cameo in it as a favor to Dan and the guys. I think.
Oh, that's great. Cool. Very
Which is
good.
nice.
And then there's a B horror film from Roger Corman called Forbidden World.
Ooh, you can't go wrong with a bit of Corman.
No.
No.
So I'll be busy for whenever I get time to watch these films.
My B movie sort of thing would be like the day the Earth stood still from the 50s, and
right.
and the War of the Worlds from the 50s as well. And what else we
Yeah, I've got that one on Criterion.
Yep, The Thing from Outer Space.
Eyes Without a Face.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, there's some good ones there. The Fiend, I think, is one. No, what am I thinking?
I still keep trying to turn people onto Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Oh, dude. No. I did watch this. It was like 2 hours. It was like the 50 worst movies ever made, and that was definitely on the list.
But it's that bad that it's hilariously funny at the same time.
Another really bad one, Orgy of the Dead, written by Ed Wood.
Famous for writing bad films.
Yeah,
I'm like the Ed Wood of the podcasting world. One take, that's it. One and done.
Yeah. Did you say one cake or one take?
Both.
Both.
You've seen me.
Yes.
You've seen me without my shirt on.
And that cake was good though. That cake was really good.
That cake was good.
Yeah.
Well, I think you two are only split by one leg.
Yes. There's a leg between us.
That's true. Somebody will write that as a song. So, what sort of films are you interested in at the moment, Ethan?
I'm sorry. There's a leg between us. That sounds like it could be interpreted different ways.
Oh, absolutely.
Wasn't that a Paul McCartney live film?
Yeah, one leg between us.
The leg between us.
Oh dear, there are so many live McCartney films.
Oh, too funny.
I don't really watch that many movies. I watch a lot of documentaries.
I forgot to mention, Tom. Tom, do you think that Paul should release another live album that collects stuff from since the last one was New York City, wasn't it? I think. He shouldn't do another live. I mean, there's a reason why he hasn't released another live album. I mean, all you gotta do is see him live, and you'll figure out why he shouldn't do another live album. Yeah.
However, I do like the idea of the sound check thing that he talked about in 2019.
Yeah.
I mean, well, he did do that, the thing with Spotify back for Egypt Station.
Yeah, I don't listen to Spotify. So.
No.
Okay.
I just mean that there's certain songs that Paul's done in those interim, those years in between that he's never released. He's never released live. Like, he did a fantastic version of Temporary Secretary.
Yeah, New and the new songs from New and from Egypt Station. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I wouldn't buy it, but I don't think he should do it.
So we're all coming back again this time next month to do a talk about The Godfather Part 1.
Why not? I mean, if Ethan doesn't join us, maybe I can have time for something like that.
Who's that?
I said Ethan probably hasn't seen The Godfather.
I've seen The Godfather Part 1.
Okay.
Okay.
I have not seen all of part 2.
Okay.
I watched part 1 over like 4 days because it was so long that I just kept getting bored. But I got to the end.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion keeps changing on 1 and 2 as to which one I prefer of the two, because they're both incredible films.
Well, they're both brilliant in their own ways, and and that's the thing is like you're watching 1 and then you're going, oh, this is one of the greatest movies ever made, and then you watch 2 and you're like, oh, this is one of the greatest movies ever made.
Notice how you didn't mention 3.
Oh yeah,
they tried to fix 3, but it didn't work.
Maybe it flows a little better with that scene up front.
Yep.
Maybe, but
did they give it the old George Lucas special edition treatment?
Yeah. They even Steven Spielberg. They even digitalized the guns out of the movie as well.
Walkie talkies.
Yeah.
They put a CGI tauntaun in there.
There you go.
That's what that was. Fredo shot first.
Yeah. They made Fredo say McClunky. Sorry, my brain is kind of gone into atrophy.
He was only here to tell us what he hasn't been doing lately.
Yeah. I'm the only guy who goes on other podcasts to tell people not to listen to my show.
You must listen.
Damage control, even though there's no damage.
All right.
They are great shows. Talking to people who are lovers of the Beatles and finding out why they love the Beatles. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
I
love doing the show.
Yeah, but that was like episode 5, so you caught me in my prime.
I would love to do the show.
I'd love to have you.
Well, there you go. It's a connection. Yeah. There we go. Make it happen, Ethan.
It's a date.
It's a date. Yeah. I'll be wearing the carnation.
And not the fruits either.
No.
My ears perked up when I heard you say the move, but then I realized you were talking about moving.
Yeah, and it wasn't that obscure band that no one else but you knows about.
We're still supposed to be doing a show about that, aren't we? The move and ELO and all that.
Funny enough, you should say that, Tom, because in this call you're outnumbered by Move fans.
Yes. Well, I mean, I can't really say I'm not a fan because I never listened to any of the music, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to look at the Brummie scene, which we don't think is looked at very often, because Denny Lane comes from that scene, and the Moody Blues and the Move and ELO and
the Idle Race.
The Idle Race, yeah. So we think it's a scene that's not spoken about very much, but an important scene.
Okay.
I think it's better than the Liverpool scene was.
Oh,
the Liverpool, the Mersey
didn't
beat
smell
is
as
so
bad.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure how familiar you are with. No. I like Birmingham.
Okay.
Yeah, Brummies.
Anyway, thanks for this, guys. I'll let you get on because we sound like we're getting towards the end, and I think Tom needs a break now, probably.
Go get some lunch.
He's had, he's had to listen to my voice for almost an hour and a half.
I miss your voice there.
No, you don't.
Yes,
everybody misses Ethan's voice.
Everybody misses Ethan sometimes.
Sometimes.
It's the punchline at the end.
Yeah, sometimes.
Although that's more of a punch word.
Right. More or less a slap in the face. No.
Like a jab. Like a jab.
Jab.
It's more of a comment, really. Norm Macdonald impression.
There you go.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Norm.
Yes, I've been watching a lot of Norm on YouTube.
Norm Macdonald died.
Yeah.
So the Germans would have us believe.
Oh man. Oh well.
What a battle axe.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Martin, thank you. Appreciate this. Let me know when it's posted, and I'll share the link.
Okay.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Well, us celebrities are just like you normal people.
Really? Are you now?
Yeah, we're still down to earth.
Yeah, I'm still down to earth.
Yeah. Us celebrities are just like you simple folk.
There it is. There it is. Oh man.
No autographs.
Yeah.
Isn't
you
that
know
right,
what?
Tim?
Yes.
I actually have to head out.
Okay.
Okay.
See you, buddy.
Right.
All right. Talk soon, both of you.
Yes.
Thank you. And
Got
thank
it,
you,
my
Tom.
friend.
Thank you, Tom.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice
Got it.
lunch. Take care.
As well. You
Thank
too. See, not you too, meaning have a nice lunch, but you have a nice rest of your day.
Take care.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.